right, Coach. They coming on in, Coach. Let's give them a few more seconds. We got Coach Berry on a tight schedule, so we're going to get him in here and get him out of here, Coach.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all won't have to wait long. He's coming right up after the introduction.
Okay.
Hey, I'd like to welcome everybody to a special edition of the HBCU Coaches Corner. This edition is because we have access and we have an interview with Coach Chennis Berry. But before we get started with that, I have to ask my co-host and start it off with Coach Cole. How you doing?
Great. Ready to get started, man. It was exciting. We getting close to the season, and who better to knock it off with the SIAC former championship coach, 2 years back to back, and now he's starting off with the South Carolina Bulldogs.
All right then, Coach. How's it going over there, Mr. Campbell, in the land of the Rattlers?
Hey, man, we are here. We are excited. It is Monday night, and we're taking over Monday night. So we ain't outspoken, but we uncut tonight.
Absolutely. With no further ado, Coach Cole started out with the introduction, but I want to make sure we cover everything. Coach Berry has coached in the SWAC, the MEAC, been a championship coach in the SIAA coach? SIAC. He's coming off 2 back-to-back championships after in his first year in 2021 being 500. He comes back and to dominate the conference in 22 and 23, earning the opportunity to be the head coach at South Carolina State. And with no further ado, we have the head coach of the South Carolina State Bulldogs, Coach Chennis Berry.
We in the building, baby. We in the building. What's happening, man? How y'all doing this evening?
We're good, Coach. We real good. Good, great. Man, I tell you, Coach, I've been keeping up with you.
Y'all juiced up, man. If y'all gonna be on this call with me, man, let's get it, man. Let's wake up, man. It's go time, man. It's football time. When you wake up in the morning, smell that grass, man. It's time for some football, man. So you ought to be excited.
Yeah, because you're gonna go make me get my helmet off the damn rack over here and run through this computer. I'm fired up as well, and that's the exciting thing about Coach Berry. Let the audience know that me and Coach Berry was at the Chicago Bears, and we were roommates, and we would sit up at night and talk about these days, you know. And of course, I've been a head coach, and now he's in the head coach, and he used to tell me about the things that he wanted to do, man. And Coach Berry, boy, you shining, man. You shining like a light.
Praise God, hallelujah. Praise God, hallelujah, man. Excited, man. Thank you, man. I think about those days sometimes, Johnny. Back with the Chicago Bears, I believe it was 2002, man. We were roommates, man, and we would just sit there and just talk about our plans and our visions for our future, man. But you gotta have a plan, man. You plan your work, then work your plan. And the good Lord has been good to us throughout our careers, man. And it's a blessing to be standing here today, man. And I'm proud of you and what you're doing, man. I respect everything that you do, man. You really paved the way for young coaches like me, man. So we're grateful for the opportunity and the relationship that we have built over the years. So God bless you, my brother.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm trying to go to another chapter, Coach. And one of the things that I noticed about coaching HBCU football, that we didn't have this platform. And this platform ain't about knocking folks down. It's about building people up. And so that's my next level. And those are things that God has blessed me with. I got 2 fine men on this show, man, that backs me, that supports me, and to make sure that we talking real talk. We don't want to say nothing about South Carolina. We got the person here today, guys. So I want them Southern folks to call. I want them Florida A&M folks to call, because we behind Chennis Berry now. He's a proven winner, and he is one of the godfathers now. I'm gonna give you that title of Black college football.
Hey, man.
And he's coming.
Appreciate it. Oh, we come? No doubt. No doubt.
Well, Coach, you know, South Carolina State is looks like they treat you real well, and you know, you off to a roaring start. I kept up with your spring ball. How many guys that you bringing back this fall? And where you gonna be strong at, offensive, defense?
Man, listen, first of all, I'll tell you what, man, I'm grateful for this moment to be able to sit here with you guys, man. Listen, man, get a chance to talk ball, man. Today, as a coaching staff, we had what we call our hideaway, man. So our guys report tomorrow. Our guys come in. We're excited about it. But as a coaching staff, man, we just got a chance to get away. So the whole entire staff, the support staff, we went away from it all, man. And we just been grinding on the process of the plan of the program the whole entire day. And we fed them lunch, man. You got to feed them, coach. If you don't feed them, coach, they're going to have a problem. All right, so we fed them a nice old lunch, broke a little bread with each other, man, just coming closer together as a staff. And then the afternoon part, we were able to, just get into some ball. Got a chance to just hear the coaches coach and teach, because we're teachers first, man. So I'm excited first and foremost about my staff. You have to have the right people around you, because none of us can do it by ourselves. And I'm fortunate to have an amazing staff of guys with shared values, man. And I tell you what, we work well together. And, everybody understands the mission. We don't talk about goals in this program. We talk about missions. And our mission is to begin with the end in mind. And the end in mind for us is real simple, guys. Atlanta, Georgia, December 14, 2024, playing for the national championship. That's how we're beginning. But when we had that first team meeting, when these handsome, wonderful men come into that first team meeting tomorrow, I only talk about it one time. I don't just talk about Celebration Bowl the whole year. I talk about it one time. It's going to be on the screen, on the PowerPoint, and we're going to talk about begin with the end in mind. We're going to be focused on that, all right? And then once I talk about it one time, that's it. We're not talking about it anymore. Then we go chop wood, carry water, and fall in love with the process of going 1-0 every day. But these young men that the good Lord has entrusted me with, I'm excited to talk about them tonight. Because I'll tell you what, I love this football team. Notice I didn't say like. I love this football team. I think we got a chance to be real, real special. And I will start on the offensive side of the ball. All right, anytime you build a program, and you know this, Johnny Cole, man, you better be good up front. You better have a chance to rock and roll up front. And guess what we're fortunate to have? And not many teams in the United States of America can say this. We got all 5 starting offensive linemen coming back. All right. And they led the league in rushing last year. And guess what? All 5 of them back. And they are pretty doggone good. All right, starting with our All-American Nick Tace, man. He's been a 4-year start on this program, and he started on the Celebration Bowl year. So he's been in the program. He loves the program. All right, he does an amazing job as our starting right guard. He's preseason All-American, and also he's first-team All-MEAC, and we're excited about Nick Tace. All right, also I'll start with just our seniors right now, because I feel pretty good about our offensive line. And that's Eric Brown, our senior. He's a nuclear engineering major. So that tell you better have a starting center that can rock and roll. I got the test results today. Eric Brown power clean 345 on his test, and Nick Tace power clean 355 on his test. So they're physical opposing young men up front. Then we're going to go to Cam Johnson, starting left tackle. All right, again, another outstanding young man. He'll be graduating in December, man. These guys have been in the program. They love South Carolina State, and you better be good up front if you got a chance to be special. With those 3 individuals themselves, they've had 37 consecutive starts. Now, you're talking about experience. That's experience right there. So those 3 young men are the glue that make us go up front. And again, I have to go with Big Trey Franklin. He's a big 6'7", 330-pound right tackle. He was a starting right tackle last year. He's back, all right, for his junior year. And also, we have another young man by the name of Ian Sharp. He started last year at left guard. So all those guys are back, but we were able to add some other young men, a couple of my best offensive linemen that played for me at the last school I was at. Guess what? They're here right now. So they have a good familiarity with the offense, and they know what they're doing and how they're doing it. So it starts with the big boys up front. And then when I go to the trigger man, and as you know, Coach, you although he was a head coach, he was an offensive guy like myself. You better have a guy behind the center that can rock and roll. And we're fortunate to have, and I'll just focus on 2. We have 5 that are going to be in camp, but I'm going to start with the guy that I feel real strong about, that when this thing is all over and all said and done, he can be National Player of the Year because he's that special. His name is Eric Phoenix. He's a dual threat left-handed.
Now, is that the kid that transferred from Benedict? Your guy? Okay.
Yes. So he was my starter in 2022. He went on. He had one opportunity to go to Division I. So he transferred to Murray State for last year, and things didn't work out for whatever reason. But the good Lord said there's an opportunity for here at South Carolina State, and I'm grateful for it because I tell you what, you talking about a talented left-handed dual threat quarterback that can run it, can throw it, and he puts pressure on defense, and he got a great understanding of what we do offensively. So I think we've gotten better as a football program because Eric Phoenix is special. And I'm going to really, really say that I can stand with my chest proud and strong to say that Eric Phoenix is special. But we also have another young man by the name of Ryan Stubblefield. He's a transfer from Incarnate Word. He actually started his career at East Carolina University. I tell you what kind of talent. He's from the Houston, Texas area. He's another dual threat guy that understands what we're doing and how we're doing it. So you better make sure that if you got one, you better have two. All right, because you got to be at a rock and roll. So I'm super excited about our trigger man. Again, we got some other guys, but again, I can't talk about 105 guys. I'm gonna focus on a couple of guys that can make it happen. And then at tight end position, we're a tight end driven offense, man. We base out of 11 personnel, and we feel wholeheartedly that if there's a tight end in HBCU football better than Keyshawn Toney, I like to find him and I like to see him. Keyshawn Toney started his career off at University of South Carolina Gamecocks. He's from right here in South Carolina. He's about 6'4", about 255 pounds. He can hold the point at the point of attack in the run game. He's a great route runner. He runs routes like a receiver. And I think he has a chance to really, really make it happen and make some noise. And he might have a chance to play some more football when it's all said and done. So excited about it, man. Excited about our tight end situation. And we have 5 tight ends. Matter of fact, we have 6 tight ends that be in training camp. So I'm excited about the depth we have at that position.
How many guys you reporting to camp?
We'll report tomorrow. We'll have 106 in camp. 106 in camp. So we're excited about it all. And when you talk about the running back room, obviously everybody knows about that special talent. That young man that left here last year, Howard, that transferred to the University of South Carolina. And God bless him, man. But I tell you, he was a talented young man. But we are blessed to have some young men in that backfield that can dot the I and cross the T. And, I tell you what, man, Josh Shaw is the returning leading rusher from last year. Himself and Tyler Smith, they were on the squad last year. But we brought in 2 transfers that are special. First of all, we'll start with DeAndre Duhart. DeAndre Duhart is about a 225-pound tailback, a guy that can make it happen, man. I mean, you talking about can dot the I across the T. He was our starting running back at Benedict last year. He's a big pistol back. He can make it happen. KZ, all right? KZ is a running back. He transferred to us from Georgia State University. He's from South Carolina. But you talking about lightning in the bottle. You ain't talking about wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. A guy that can make it happen. One of the best running backs to ever come through the state of South Carolina from great collegiate.
You said something there, Coach. Now you said they always had great running backs in South Carolina State. Now
I'm telling you, man. Listen, man. These some guys. As you can tell, man, I'm confident. I love this football team. Yeah. Nobody knows what we got, but we as a coaching staff, it's no worry about what we got. Because guess what? That ball's going to kick off, and we're going to get 60 minutes. All right? All the rankings. Again, I keep my receipts, guys. So everybody got these rankings that got us, back there in the back. I keep all my receipts. But this football team will be ready to go. But let me go out to those wide receivers, man, because I think that's important. We got some explosive guys on that outside that can make it happen. Justin Smith-Brown was a guy that returned from last year. He's coming back from his senior year. He's an all-MEAC guy, and you talking about speed. A guy that can stretch the field vertically. He can make it happen.
Now, was he there when they beat Jackson State in the championship game?
I'm not sure if he was there then, all right, but he was the leading receiver last year in 2023. But he's a guy that's really, really fast, really, really explosive, and can really, really make it happen. And also, Jordan is a guy that played a lot last year. Jordan Smith, he's number 13 last year. He's another guy that's been in the offense. But we have some wideouts that we signed, man, that we're super excited about. Starting with Caden High, man. Caden High, you're going to know about number 0. He'll wear number 0 this year. Caden High is special. He was our leading receiver last year as a true freshman at Benedict College. He wore number 10 at Benedict. Explosive young man. He is really, 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 really talented, and we're grateful to have him. Enaj Carter, slot receiver from East Tennessee State University. I'm talking about another explosive guy. And his nickname is Quick Six. So I'm going to let y'all figure it out. That's his nickname. All right, Quick Six. He'll be wearing jersey number 1 this year. Excited about Quick Six. DeAndre Ruff transferred to us from Georgia Southern. He was an electric receiver. He's from Savannah, Georgia. He's about 6'2", 205. that can really, really, really make it happen. So, we got some guys that we're super excited about in the wide receiver room that are special and can make things happen. So you got to make sure that when you build your program, you have the right guys. And then last but not least, Nick Soul. Nick Soul's a 6'6" receiver from right at Dutch Fork High School. If you know anything about South Carolina high school football, Dutch Fork High School probably won the last 4 or 5 state championships. So he's a big, long receiver. He transferred to us as well. So the wide receiver room is special. So again, I really, really love our side of the ball. Those guys are really, really bought into what we do and how we do it. Coach Jonathan Williams is our offensive coordinator. He played quarterback there in the SWAC at Grambling, man, for Doug Williams, as well as I think he played a little bit for Doug and maybe a little bit for Fobbs as well. But, ultimately at the end of the day, a talented guy that does a great job with our offense. But, our whole entire offensive staff is bought into the process. Now, let's go into what South Carolina State is known for, defense. Yeah. All right. You better, if you know anything about them Bulldogs, they know how to play some defense. And we're super excited about our defensive coordinator, first and foremost, Jordan O'Daffer, man. He does a good job of getting our guys going in the right direction. But just like I said up front, it starts on the O-line. You got to go to the defensive line. And the defensive line is where it all hit when it's all said and done. We have about 16 guys on the defensive line that we really feel like can play anywhere in this league. No doubt about it. We have recruited depth, we have recruited size, we have recruited girth, and we've recruited guys in the middle that can make it happen. So, because of how good we are at linebacker, we're arguably the best linebacker in our league without a doubt with Aaron Smith. All right, we feel like that we had to have some guys up front that can make it happen. So, the big boys up front is where it's all said and done. We're returning Octavian Mentor from last year and Jared Kirksey. Those are the guys that got most of the burn. And then we have a young man named Bill Hall, Assad Bill Hall. It's really a freak. I'm just going to tell y'all, man, he's about 6'4", about 235 pounds, and he runs conditioning with the DBs. I tell you what kind of speed he has and what kind of talent. So those are the guys returning from last year. But mark this name right here. It's a defensive end that transferred to us. He was first team AFCA All-American last year at a little D2 school. Y'all think we only recruit D2 guys. But he is a guy that you'll know about, Jayden Broughton. That's special. And everybody gonna know about JB. He was first team AFC All-American. Led the nation last year with 24.5 tackles for loss. I also had 10.5 sacks. So he'll be a guy people gonna know about real fast in this league because he is a ball player. But we signed a lot of other guys on that defensive line, and we're super excited about those guys. Let me take it back to the back end. The back end are special, man. The back end, we'll go with the linebackers first, the second level. Aaron Smith, talked a little bit about him, man. He has a chance to be one of the best linebackers that come through here. And then we've had a lot of good ones. When you talk about South Carolina State University, man, and Aaron Smith leads the whole entire defense. He's our bell cow. He's a guy that power cleans 345 at linebacker. He can run. He can make it happen. He's already graduated. So we're going to build this thing around Aaron Smith. All right. Also, man, we have another young man played last year named Aiden. Aiden Weber is a guy that played a lot last year. We wore number 8. He can make it happen, man. So super excited about all these young men, man. And then obviously go to the back end, returning corner from last year, young man by the name of Jamari Benjamin. He can make it happen. Michael Brunson played a lot of snaps here, and we signed some safeties on the back end that can make it happen. What we wanted to do with the safety room, we want to recruit length. We wanted guys with some length that can make it happen, that can cover, that can run. So we're super excited about all our guys. And then I have to end with the kicking game because obviously there's 3 phases in all parts of the game. There's offense, there's defense, there's kicking game. And we're returning Gavin Zimmerman, returning place kicker from last year. We're also returning Maxine Cobb, returning punter, and also a young man by the name of Dyson Roberts that we're super excited about. But we signed a couple kickers, played kickers and punters and long snappers. So we really, really love this football team. And as you can hear the passion when I talk about this football team, I really, really know what we have. Again, we're going to get 60 minutes when the ball is going to kick off. So all the things that's going on out here, you have to start with beginning with the end in mind. And I really, really love this team, man. And I think we got a chance to make some noise in year 1. We're really excited about it.
Yeah. Man, hey, Coach, appreciate that.
Hey, Coach, I'd like to ask a question for you. You came into Benedict in 2001, and you had guys had a 500 season. And compared to coming into this job, are you in better shape now than you were when you came into Benedict?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, you talking about I'm following Oliver Buddy Pugh. You know, he's not gonna leave the cupboard dry. Man, Coach Pugh did an amazing job of recruiting quality young men. All right, my job when I came in is just to try to, coach the young men that we had, discipline, accountability, and add depth. Coach Pugh didn't leave the cupboard dry. South Carolina State been winning football games for a long time. Every time I go on the football field and I go to practice every day and I just look up at the press box and I see 18 MEAC championships. South Carolina State is not no stranger to winning championships. 50 years ago in 1974, they won their first MEAC championship. So it's been going back a long time, man. So definitely left us in good position. The staff that we have retained from last year, we kept a couple guys from last year's staff. They've been great resources to kind of show us what we needed and what we currently had. But man, I'm super excited about this football team. When I first got to the last school, the last institution I was at, really didn't have a whole lot. My very first team meeting at the last school, I think we had like 55 players. All right. When we came here, we had many more players, but young men were bought in. They were excited. They were eager, and they've been great ambassadors to everything that we were talking about on the field and off the field. So I really, really love this football team, as you can hear in my voice. And I think we got a chance to really make some noise here in this 2024 season.
We're going to let the Rattler talk now, Coach.
Coach, I am excited. I followed your career. And I am a Florida A&M Rattler, but don't hold that against me. That's not what we're talking about here. We really want to talk about you. And, Coach, what I'm really excited about, and I'm excited about to ask you this question, there's another coach, when he went to another job, he said he was bringing his own luggage, and it was Louis. What I like and what I saw is that you brought a lot of your players from Benedict. Talk to me about why you brought so many players from Benedict and what they're going to bring to South Carolina State, and also how they will help build the culture that you're trying to build, bring South Carolina State back to that championship culture. Because it looks like, I'm looking at, first of all, you talked about Eric Phoenix, who's your quarterback coming back, and then it looks like you brought another 13 kids from Benedict itself.
Well, I'm glad you said that because they understand the culture. The thing about us, you see a lot around the country, guys, I'm sure you guys follow other teams. A lot of teams are bringing in transfers, and no knock on their transfer, but we bring in the right fit. It's all about the fit to us, who fits our program, who fits our vision. The young men that we're bringing in, whether they're Division II, whether they're FCS guys, and we brought in a couple FBS guys as well, they were productive where they were. You want to make sure when you bring guys in that they're productive, they show productivity at the places they were. And some of those young men that we brought in were very, very productive. And just know this, too, and I want to put it out there for the world to understand. Every young man that came over here from Benedict, to South Carolina State, I didn't ask not one of them to come. It was just kind of an unwritten law. It was like, hey, look, we want to be with you, Coach, because we know what you're about. And again, we couldn't bring them all. There was others that wanted to come, but we couldn't bring them all. We brought the young men that fit what we were looking for. You got to think about the success we had the last couple of years at Benedict was high, but we recruited Division I players, guys. Just because we were Division II, we didn't recruit Division II talent. We recruited what we felt like they were Division I talent that fell through the cracks. That's why we were able to have the success that we had. So the guys that did come over, that decided to transfer over to South Carolina State, trust and believe, we couldn't bring them all, but the ones that came, they'll make plays over here because they were productive where they were. All right. And again, we're just fortunate to have the young men that decided to come over here because I wasn't trying to make Benedict dry. I wasn't trying to burn them dry. But when those young men said, Coach, I've done what I'm supposed to do, I feel like I want to take that next step, I would love to join you to help you build that program with the culture and the discipline and what we're all about that we did over at the last place and be able to take that over to South Carolina State as well. And again, as the head football coach, I have to be able to give them the opportunity. And if I felt like they had the opportunity to help us, which the ones that coming over did, they were all starters, they were all conference, they were all playmakers, we gave them the opportunity to do so. So thanks for that.
Coach, you're a mind reader because my next question was going to be, hey, coming from Division II, taking that many transfers, did you have concern about their ability to play at this next level? you answered that question beautifully. You're not only a great coach, but you're a mind reader too, I guess.
Coach, I wanted to follow up on something, and you talked about a program that is tradition laden. You literally talked about 50 years of greatness at South Carolina State. There's a similar situation where you had Nick Saban and Kalen DeVore is following Nick Saban. You're following a legend, Coach Buddy Pugh. What did you have to do, as they say, to bring the old with the new? And how did you have to get the whole as they say, that bulldog tough together to say, hey, we're going to our next chapter, but we're not going to forget our championship pedigree and DNA? What did you tell the alumni and students and your players?
First of all, it started with making sure everybody understood. Coach Pugh retired. He retired. He didn't get run off or anything. He retired. And I'm fortunate to be able to follow such a legend like himself. But guess who he followed? Willie Jeffries. So, he followed a legend. I'm following a legend. And guess what? I'd be crazy not to go to Coach Pugh as a resource. Coach Pugh is an amazing resource. I love some Coach Pugh. He is a phone call away. He spends time, things that I need, he's able to share with me, the people that whether it's the people on campus, people in the community, some things in the program. And then I invited all the Bulldogs back to let them know this is their program. Like you say, man, why would I throw away all the traditions and the history and all the powerhouse? I mean, you look at the 70s. I was talking to our team the other day. The 70s, they won 5 MEAC championships in a row, man. From 74 all the way to 78 when Willie Jeffries left. And then when you talk about in the 80s, they won another 4 in a row. Now, then when the 90s, they won 1 or 2, and in the 2000s, Coach Pugh won 3 or 4 in a row. So I'd be crazy not to take on the traditions and the love. People love South Carolina State, not just here in Orangeburg, all over the state. This block S on my chest, it's a brand. So wherever I go in the nation, these people love South Carolina State. I was able to spend a few days with some of the alumni at the National Alumni Association conference this weekend in Charleston, South Carolina. And boy, they're excited. They're excited fan base that they love Bulldog football. And I'm grateful to be able to come in a program like this because I've been saying it from day one. This is a blue blood program. You're talking about over 50 years. I'm not talking about a program you just started with it. Over 50 years of dominance. And I'm grateful they chose Chennis to be the next head coach. I'm just grateful. And unfortunately, we put God first in this program. Man, I tell you what, I'm grateful that the good Lord gave me this opportunity to be here because, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, man. I'm talking about giants in this profession. And I'm grateful to have the opportunity to be here. And again, the state of South Carolina is loaded with talent. Although this year, because it was year one, that we had to get the talent level up and get the depth right. So we were in the portal pretty heavy. All right. But we're going to recruit high school kids in the state of South Carolina. This is the Palmetto State. There's players all over the state. There's linemen, there's backs, there's receivers, there's size, there's speed, there's dominant high school programs, man. So we're going to build this thing on the inside out, starting with O-line, D-line, and quarterbacks. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we're going to build it from the state of South Carolina, no question about
it. Hey, Coach, do you think that having recruited South Carolina in the last 3 or 4 years gave you an edge in taking over the job and being familiar with the landscape and the talent that is available in the state of South Carolina?
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. You got to think about it. Recruiting is what? Relationships, right? It's about relationships. And we had a gas tank philosophy at the last place I was at. Although we were in the capital, Columbia, we recruited all over the state. So when we recruit all over the state and you have camps from kids coming all over the state, now you have an opportunity to build relationships with all these high school coaches. So whether those guys, even some of the high school coaches, if they decide a kid might want to go FCS to another program, but if things don't work out, as you see that happens a lot in college football now, if they go FBS or things of that nature, they'll have an opportunity to come back home because this is home to South Carolina. So yes, the relationships that we've built over the last couple of years, those same relationships we just carry on. Because again, remember, like I said, although we were Division II, we recruited Division I guys. We didn't go out to just Division II guys. We went out to guys that we felt like that were Division I football players. And just like here, although we're an FCS program, we're recruiting FBS guys. All right, because that's what we want to do. We want to be able to recruit because this is South Carolina State. It's a brand. All right, we're the only Division I HBCU in the state of South Carolina. All right. People love South Carolina State all over this state. And there's high school coaches that played here that wants to send young men here. All right. They got guys all over, not only this state, but North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and people that love South Carolina State. So it's definitely an advantage, but we're going to start with the backyard first, that gas tank philosophy that I always talk about. And we're going to do it inside out, straight start in the state of South Carolina.
Hey, well, Coach, we're going to, before we let you go, we got to address the elephant in the room, and that's how you guys open up the season this year against the defending HBCU national champion, Florida A&M. Now, Buddy Pugh left you, he didn't leave the cupboards bare, but he did leave you with a challenging kickoff game on August the 31st. And so what are you guys going to look to accomplish when you meet the Rattlers in Tallahassee on August 31st?
What an unbelievable challenge for our young men to kick it off. Oh, what an unbelievable challenge. But we can't worry about August 31st unless we be the best we can be on July 29th. Our philosophy around here is just win the day and let's go 1-0. All right? That's a heck of a challenge. Going down to Bragg Stadium, man, to play against the defending national champions. But trust and believe, the young men that we put on them buses and headed down to Tallahassee, Florida, they'll be ready to go. All right, but we're going to focus on being the best we can be every day and come together as a football team. You're talking about we got 40 newcomers that's coming in the program, 32 transfers, as well as 8 freshmen, but we have a good foundation of the young men that's already been here. That's already set the standard in the foundation. They understand what it looks like. So it's important for them to understand that we're coach-led, player-driven, and when other young men come into this program, they understand the standard on what we're all about. And the standard is that we just want their best. So the people that's coming in this program, notice I didn't say we just took a lot of guys. Those 32 that came in, those 8 freshmen, they're the right fit. They fit our culture. And our culture and what we're all about, it starts with discipline. All right? Everybody has talent. Every team in the United States of America, every HBCU team, every Power 5, Power 4, every conference, everybody starting off with championship. Everybody wants to win, but it costs to be a champion. So one of the slogans we'll go by this year, pay the fee. The fee is focus, effort, and execution. It costs to be a champion. It's not free to be a champion. You got to put in that work every day, that WORK, work every single day. Every time you come to work, put that hard hat on. So when our young men report tomorrow, July 30th, I'm going to tell them to focus on to make the main thing the main thing. Be where your feet are and win the day. Let's work on dominating the day. Let's come together. All right, team. It's all about the team. Yes, we talk offense, we talk defense, we talk special team, but it's about the team. Together, everyone achieves more. All right, together. Each of us need all of us, and we got to focus on going 1-0 every day. And when we get to August 31st, ball gonna kick off. We're gonna get 60 minutes when that ball kick off. And again, what happens in them 60 minutes is completely up to us. All right, it's a new team at Tallahassee, a new season, new head coach. All right, we have a new team, a new season, a new head coach, and let the chips fall where they may. But trust and believe, those young men that we have out there will be ready to rock and roll.
Boy, it sounds good. Because, Coach, you opened up with four tough ones, the Citadel, A&T. The Citadel Division 1A, aren't they?
No, they're yes.
They FCS as well? Mm-hmm. Okay. But, Coach, sound like you really went into a situation, of course, following greatness of Buddy Pugh, that the gun is loaded. You pretty much had to put an extra bullet in it and just squeeze the trigger.
Amen. Amen. Excited about it. Excited about it. If I, as a head coach, I can't be excited about it, who will? So, I have to lead from the front, and I really, really love this football team. Really excited about it. Can't wait to get out there tomorrow to see our football team. I'm going to hug on each and every one of them. Can't wait to see them. We had a great summer, man. The guys really got out there and came together as a football team. Now we got to bring everybody together, and let's get ready to let the chips fall where they may.
Coach, I know it's your first year. And, man, you moving fast in this game, Coach. You kind of took off at Southern University, where y'all done greatness down there. You won the SWAC championship as well down there. Mm-hmm. Now you moved to Division II as a head coach. You won there off the rip. Now you're in South Carolina. And I know you don't even know where the restroom at yet. Let's talk about Coach Baird. What is your ultimate, or can we talk about that now? What is Coach Baird's ultimate goal for Coach Baird and the stuff that you put in it. Because, man, I know you're a football coach, but what is it? What is your end game?
You know, Johnny, man, I'll be honest with you, man. I love coaching. I was telling our staff today, man, I was like, man, we get a chance to make a living, to provide a living for our family, coaching the game of football. Do you ever think about this? So it's not about we got to do anything. We get to do this. And honestly, man, I just want to be the best I can be at where I'm at. I've always had that mindset. Even when I was just a line coach, I wanted to be the best line coach, O-line coach that I can be. I didn't worry about the next job. All I worried about was being the best O-line coach I can be. And then in turn, I ended up being an offensive coordinator. You guys know, not many O-line coaches are offensive coordinators, all right, and play callers, all right? And I had an opportunity then to be the best O-line coach I can be, to become an offensive coordinator. And now I've had an opportunity to be a head football coach. So, you know, I just want to be the best I can be at where I'm at. My job is to take South Carolina State to new heights, places they've been before. It's my job to be the best I can be at South Carolina State. And then we'll let the chips fall where they may after that. I never worry about the next job. I just try to be the best at where I'm at and bloom where I'm planted.
Coach, would you mind sharing with us some of your coaching influences, who influenced the philosophies that you have in coaching? I know you've coached with Coach Dawson Odoms, who's also at Norfolk State right now, and a few other guys. But who has influenced your coaching style and your philosophy?
You know, and I'm glad you said that. This is year 30, man. I was thinking about it the other day, man, as I'm getting ready to start my 30th season coaching HBCU football, man. And I'm not a spring chicken at this thing. I'm not new to this, baby. I'm true to this, man. I've been doing this thing a long time, man. This is an awesome deal. But man, I feel like I can do it 30 more years, man. Like really, I do, man. I got so much juice. I tell my players, man, I'm the Motorola Charger, baby. If you need some juice, baby, plug up with me, baby, because I got that juice every single day because I love what I do. How many people can go to work, baby, man, and go to work to a job that they love? Now, there's some obstacles. There's some days you be like, man, what in the world is going on? We spend more time being firemen, putting out fires than we do being a head football coach sometimes, man. But, man, I get a chance to do that, man. So guys that have influenced me throughout, and I've coached, you got to think about it, man. This is the 10th HBCU I've coached at. I've won championships in the MEAC, at A&T. I won championship in the SWAC, like you said, won championships in the SIC. So I've been around great coaches, and all we do is take little, small pieces from each coach, all right? I always give credit to a guy by the name of, and again, Johnny will know this name, Kent Schoolfield. Kent Schoolfield was a guy.
We're back, coach. We're back.
Yeah. He was Bobby Bowden's wide receiver coach in the 70s, man. You know, there wasn't many minority position coaches back in the 70s, man. He taught me so much football on the offensive side, man. He really showed me how to put offenses together. You know, because think about it, I'm a line coach, but I've been a play caller majority of my career, and not many line coaches are play callers. You know what I'm saying? So I learned the game inside out. But I was fortunate to learn the passing game and what beats man coverage, what beats quarters, when teams play cover zero. I learned all that in the discipline and the organization from Kent Schoolfield, man. He was a legend in the game, man. He won a lot of championships as a head coach, man. And I'll tell you what, my time with Coach Olders was awesome. My time with Donald Hill Ely, man, at Morgan State was amazing. My time with Gary Harrell Fleet, that's now at University of Colorado, and Howard was amazing. My time with George Small at North Carolina A&T was amazing. I mean, I can go on the list, and all I do is I'm always going to have my foundation, but I'm going to take little bits and pieces, all right, of what I liked and some things that I didn't like per se, but at the end of the day, it wasn't my program. So it was my job to fall in love with whatever they were teaching, but at the end of the day, put my own stamp on it. So I worked for a lot of amazing people, man, and I tell you what, I'm just grateful, man. I'm grateful in this profession. But it took 26 years, man. I was 26 years as an assistant coach before I became a head coach. Okay. And all I wanted to be would be the best assistant coach I could ever be. I couldn't worry about being the chief if I wasn't a good Indian. And I told our staff that all the time. You better be a great Indian. Because if you're a great Indian, when you get your opportunity to sit in the seat and be the chief, you're going to have great people around you. So, again, I never worry about the next job. I just want to be the best I can be at where I'm at, because I come to work every day and love what I do, and I'm passionate about what I do.
Well, Coach, how just switching gears for a minute, and you guys got all them great players, and I guess you hadn't tested it yet, or maybe you lost a couple with Benedict with the NIL and the collective situation, and now the schools can actually pay the players. You know, how you feel about that in the position you're in? Because now, you know, as coaching, sometimes you got to take the handle off of some of the kids, I think. What's your take on all that?
Tell you what, it's a real deal now. I mean, it's real. And I tell our coaches and every day, guys, when the players come here, okay, our job is to give them the best student athlete experience that we can possibly give them. Because at the end of the day, the reality is with this transfer portal and things of that nature, man, all these FBS programs are doing and looking at programs like us, North Carolina Central, Howard, South Carolina State, Graham, and all that, and just recruiting from our rosters. Because again, like I say, although they want, you know, guys, they want productive guys, regardless of whatever level you on. So they'll come down to our level for productive guys. If you really look at all the stuff that's going on in the profession, man, you know, every year you coaching year to year. You know, my philosophy, Johnny, used to be recruit them, retain them, develop them, and then graduate them. All right, that was always a philosophy. Recruit them, get them at your place. All right, retain them. All right, make sure academically they sound ready to rock and roll. Player development is huge, and then graduate them. Okay. But now you're recruiting your team every year. But how we recruit our team every year? Just treat them right, man. Because at the end of the day, if the bag come, if the big bag come, I don't have the bag. So if the bag come, the reality is 9 times out of 10, they're going to run to the bag. But I give them the best student athlete experience. As a head coach, I can't improve the facilities. I can't go get them a new weight room, new locker room. I don't have any control of that. But what I have control of, make sure that I feed them right. All right, make sure the nutrition is top notch. All right, we putting at least 5 meals a day on. You know, making sure that I drip them, man. They like gear, man. So I want to make sure they looking good. All right, so every chance I can put them in nice clothes and things of that nature. And then when we travel first class. All right, that's my obligation to them. And then take care of them. It's bigger than football. We never start our position meetings or our staff meeting or our team meeting just talking about ball. We talk about life. Because one thing we know about this game of football, it has an expiration date, guys. And it's going to end one day. And we show our young men that we genuinely care about them. So if they want to choose and run to the bag, and if that's what the good Lord tells them to do, and that's what, you know, they'll say, hey, coach, I tell you what, I'm betting on myself. And I'm going to go and go take these other opportunities. But all we can do is treat them the best we can be while they're here. You know, we don't have the bag. I'm just telling you, soccer, we don't have it to give them. But we can give them the best student athlete experience we can possibly give them if they choose to stay. Because we had some young men this past year. They could have went to other places, but they chose to stay because they know coaches that genuinely love them and care for them. And we got a chance as a football program to get this thing back on track. And not only win games, win souls as well.
Coach, Rocky, you got the
I got those slides.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put them up.
Oh, where you at?
We right here. My bad. Right here.
Me at.
All right, that was our picks, Coach. Full transparency, right there, Coach. That's what each of us picked.
Can you see it, Coach?
I see it. I can see it.
We got you steady. We got you steady because you knew, Coach. But then I might have to move you up one.
You know, hey,
most
man,
of them in front of you, Coach, because they've been there. They've been there. You don't even know where the restroom at just yet.
Hey, that's okay. That's why they call preseason predictions, man. Because guess what? That's the beauty of the MEAC. We get a chance to play every last one of them. All right, so we'll find out. At the end of the day, you could be right, but you could be wrong. But at the end of the day, I promise you this. The young men that we put out there on the football field, those South Carolina State Bulldogs, far and wide, going to be proud of the team we put out there because we're going to play hard, we're going to play smart, we're going to play physical, and we're going to play discipline. That's what I can control. I can't control other than that. And we're going to let the chips fall where they may. But I really, really, really love this football team. And I think we got a chance to be special this year in 2024.
I think you're a great fit, Coach. I mean, you sit and come right in the mold of Buddy Pugh. I had an opportunity to, when I was at Southern University on the Pete Richardson, to play Buddy Pugh for the only HBCU Black College National Championship game played on January 1st in Atlanta. And we actually beat them 11-6, you know, to go 11-1. And, you know, it was a defensive game the whole time. You know what I mean? They had players. So I watched Buddy Pugh follow his game. You know, they keep it close, let the defense win the game, man. And that's been a great formula for him. I know things are a little different for you, and that's why I look real forward to this year. I'm excited about MEAC football because of you.
Thank you so much, Johnny.
Hey, Coach Berry, I have a question for you, Coach Berry. Did you call plays at Benedict?
Absolutely, I did. But now that I answered your question, I need you to move to the side, man. Because I need all these people that's watching to know that them Bulldogs is on that back screen. Because I got on them before. I need you to move to the side and look at your microphone and show them that the Bulldogs is in the building. I didn't want the people.
We want them to come back, Rocky. We want to come back when they're in the championship game.
Oh, yeah. I got him.
You ain't going to have swag at me and not have them Bulldogs on there, man.
We got you, Coach.
Everybody see. The world know that you got them Bulldogs up there. He was just covering them up, guys.
Yeah, Coach. I ain't no prejudice here, Coach. Look, no prejudice.
Look, we gotta get that SID man to send us some stuff because we got to bring you back, Coach. We got to bring you back, Coach. Bring you back.
Johnny, man, you know it ain't nothing but love, man. It ain't nothing but love. But yeah, Rocky, to answer your question, man, offense is my baby, man. You know, I'm grateful to have a really good defensive coordinator. And Johnny, know, man, when you got a good DC, you don't have to worry about nothing, man. You just let them run the defense, man, and make sure you control the discipline. But when you got a good DC that you believe in, you let them run the defense. And I've been heavily involved with offense. But I tell you what, I have like 4 guys that's been offensive coordinators on my offensive staff. So it's so many great ideas that those guys are bringing into the system, man, along with Jonathan Williams, man. So I'm really not sure who's going to call it this year, man. I'm still trying to figure it out, man. But
okay.
Coach, now, is this your system, or do y'all come together and put things together, or this is what you kind of been building up yourself? It's your system, right?
Well, yeah, Johnny, man. You know, of course, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, man. We averaged 39.8 points a game, man. Last year, when we were at Southern, we averaged 40 points a game. Man, I ain't gonna change. I'd be crazy to change it too much. But what I do is I ask those other guys that's been coordinators to really pour in and get some other things that we can do to make us better. I try to stay ahead of the game. If you're green, you grow. The defenses that are evolving every day, so we'll never just stay where we were. We're gonna add little wrinkles here and there and try to be problem solvers and have answers before it even happens. All right, but Coach Williams does a great job. You got to think, man, he worked for Eric Dooley. He worked for Doug Williams. So he's bringing great ideas on some stuff they were doing at Grambling, at PV, because he was at PV, he was at Southern. All right, my running back coach, he was the offensive coordinator at Bluefield State. All right, my receiver coach, he coached with the San Francisco 49ers, and he's been a head coach, and he's been an offensive coordinator, play caller. And then my tight end coach has been with me since Southern University. So he kind of knows what we're doing, how we're doing it. And Coach Goddard, one of the best O-line coaches in the country. So we got a good mixture of good offensive guys that got great ideas. So again, we'll have the foundation of what we do offensively, but I always listen to my assistant coaches to be able to provide feedback to make us better.
Yeah. I really believe, Coach, that when you got a group of guys that's working together, I really believe that makes offenses go. You got to have everybody that believe in what you're doing. If you don't, then now you got folks moving in different directions. And you know, offenses always got to be on the same page. Always.
Amen.
One guy can mess a play up. You know, being on the same page.
That's right.
So that's a good staff that you put together.
Amen. You got great staff. I love each and every one of them.
Hey, Coach, I know you've been at it since 7 this morning. And I want to personally thank you for jumping on and staying longer than we said we are gonna keep you 20 minutes. You're up to 50 minutes, Coach. And I'm sure.
Well, Coach, he talked 20 minutes about his damn team. We good.
Hey,
Coach,
talk about my team, man. I've been crazy now to talk about my team. I've been doing all these interviews with Johnny, man, and they've been asking me about all this other stuff, but I ain't had a chance to talk about my team yet, man. So, man, listen, man. When you get a chance to talk about your team, man, I get excited, man. Not every head coach even know their team, man. Some of them can't even sit up there and talk about their team because they don't know their team. But I know this football team, and that's why they run through the wall for us, man, because they know we genuinely care. But it's not even like my staff is great, John. And I got to talk about it because I get the opportunity on your show to be able to talk about it. It's great, man. When you got great guys, not just like-minded, Johnny, but guys with shared values, you feel like you got you something special. Then I got a great off-the-field staff. My director of football operations, chief of staff, Troy Johnson, is the real deal. He was Willie's default chief of staff last year at FAMU. All right, so Willie Simmons and I, that's my boy, that's my dog, that's like one of my best friends. And he was on the staff with Willie, but he's from right here in Orangeburg, man. So he tell me where all the good restaurants are, where the place to go, where not to go, man. So to have a guy like Troy Johnson on my staff, Chris Parrott, my director of recruiting, director of academics, amazing. Then, of course, if you've been following social media, you've been looking at my young man, my video, and my social media guy, Marcus Hicks, man. He's second to none, man. He has got, if you're a Bulldog, you can follow our program because there's no secrets. We get the content out there so our fans can be able to follow what we do and how we do it. So again, I feel like we got a great group of 10 coaches, offense and defensive coaches, but we also have 3 members of our support staff that's doing an amazing job as well. So I'm blessed, man. I am a blessed man as the head football coach at South Carolina State.
Well, that's the things that we want to do on this show, man. We want to expose these type of things. You know, you don't have to be a certain color to be a great coach like yourself. And we just want to make sure that we can reach out to people and kind of kill some of these lies or innuendos about black college football. It is what it is, but we got great coaches like yourself, great staffs, great support people. We want to edge them on and do great things.
Amen. No doubt about it, man. And when you got a good staff, man, you got to be able to highlight those guys, man. And I tell them all the time, Johnny, man, listen, I was assistant coach longer than I've been a head coach. And it's nothing like when the assistant coaches get some shine because they'll run through that wall for you, man. And I have some coaches, man. I didn't get a chance to talk about my defensive staff much, but I got 2 D-line coaches, man. How many people got 2 D-line coaches? And I'm talking about full-time. I ain't talking about no full-time in the GA. David Blanchard been doing it for a long time. David Blanchard was on Willie Jeffrey's staff. And so he's been here a long time, man. And he's a great resource for me. He coaches our D tackles. And then listen for this name, Gary Howard, man. Gary Howard is the real deal when you talking about D-line coaches, man. He was my D-line coach at Benedict. He's from Houston, Texas, man. He is the real deal. He's a great recruiter. He's a great person. And he got Coach Barry back. No question about it. And I love him to death. And, Coach O'Dafford, our DC coach, is our linebacker. But I think I got 2 really special secondary coaches as well. One coaches the corners and one coaches the safeties. That's Kevin King, who's also our special team coordinator. And then also Michael Stiles, which is our corners coach. And, I tell you what, we got a special group of young men that are really bought into our program. They fit our program. All right, you got to think about it. I've been coaching for going on 30 seasons, man. I know a lot of coaches all over America. I could have went anywhere and came up with a staff, but everybody doesn't fit the culture of what we want to build here. And it starts by having great men that are bought into the system of what we're doing on the field and off the field, and it's going to love our players. And I'm fortunate to have great men around me. So I'm in a win-win situation, so I'm blessed, man. I really am.
Man, there's some great coaches all over HBCU football, Coach. And coincidentally, I'll just mention this because we have a rattle on. We almost had one of the coaches that you coached against in your conference. You almost ended up playing him, leading the Rattlers the first game of the season. What's that guy? He was from Fort Valley. For some reason, they didn't want that guy out the SIAC. What's his name, Coach, the guy from Fort Valley?
Sean Gibbs.
Yeah, Coach Gibbs. He was a great guy, but for some reason, the Rattlers didn't want him, and so they had to pivot and hire somebody on the staff. And so It almost was what would you say?
Coach, what they want to say, Coach, is because you beat him. And when South Carolina got you, it's like, no, we can't get a guy that I got beat. We need to get somebody else. So you a job killer, Coach. No, I'm just kidding.
No, Sean Gibbs,
you hurt everybody.
And Sean Gibbs is a great person as well, man. He'll get his opportunity when the Lord says it. If it was his job, he would have got it. So when the good Lord says it's your job, you're going to get the job, regardless of what man says. The job is his, and he'll get it. And he'll continue to win, and he'll do great things. And when the good Lord ready to move him to another place, he'll do so. But Sean Gibbs is a good guy.
Yeah, I heard he's a good coach. He comes from a good background, too.
That's right. That's right.
No, Coach, I just wanted to point that out, that another guy in your conference looked like he was going to get an opportunity to elevate it. Unfortunately, he didn't. But and it was all due to the Rattlers wanting somebody else. And hopefully Cozy can bring home. We'll see. Matter of fact, Mr. Campbell, what do you think about what's going to happen on August 31st when?
Listen, Coach. See, Coach, listen. You bringing all this positive energy, and they want. And wait. See, Coach. Let me tell you something. People know me. You brought all this part in. They want to end it with some mess. See, I'm not going to let them. I'm not going to let them pull you in that mess, Coach. You coach the South Carolina State Bulldogs. You got the job because you deserve that job. You understand it. You ain't got nothing to worry about Fort Valley and FAMU. We're not going to talk about that because you coach the South Carolina State Bulldogs. That's what we're here to talk about. So I'm not about to get in that mess with these guys. Coach, what I wanted to really get into, what I'm really excited about, what they're talking about is this. You've got a lot of people here that are watching this show that are parents and things like that. You actually got players. Tell me as a parent why my son need to come play for you in South Carolina State.
All right. Well, first and foremost, thank you for that, man, because that's a great question, man. And one thing about here in South Carolina State, we're going to love you, young man, on the field and off the field. Remember what I said before, speaking of football, okay? Speaking of football, when these these young men understand that it's not about what you know. At the end of the day, it's about how much you care, and we care for our young men on and off the field. Our young men graduate. Our young men graduate. One of our philosophies, we chase A's, B's, C's, and D's. Those are A's and B's in the classroom, non-negotiable. C's are championships, and D's are degrees. What more can you ask for? We don't talk about the next 4 years. When we sign those freshmen, we talk about the next 40 years. See, the next 4 years to your life, being in this program and all the people that you're going to be around and all the experience that we're going to put you through, the student-athlete experience, these 4 years are going to set you up for the next 40 years. You'll be a better father by coming through this program. You'll be a better husband by coming through this program. You'll be a better human being by coming through this program. We're going to love you, not just as a football player, but as a young man. All right. We're not just here to win football games. We're here to win souls. All right. We win souls, man. And when you do that, see, people talk about donors, man. We all been a part of HBCU world. They talk about, man, people giving back to the program. People give back because of the experience they had while they were there. I'm not going to have to worry about 20 years from now, Aaron Boog Smith. Aaron Boog Smith experience while he's been here has been phenomenal. So if I'm still the head football coach here at South Carolina State, like Buddy Pugh was here 23 years, guess what? I ain't got to worry about Aaron Boog Smith giving back to the program. I don't have to worry about Nick Tace giving back to the program. I don't have to worry about Eric Brown, all right, Octavian Mentor giving back. Because why? The time that they've been here, we've treated them like men, and they've grown from their freshman year to their senior year. 4 years of life sets you up for the next 40. And that's what we're all about in this program, molding men.
Coach, listen, I love that. And I think it's just such positivity that you're bringing. And I'm just saying this as a black man to another black man. This makes me happy. We hear so many stereotypes, but this is a stereotype I tell people in the HBCU world. The stereotype of positivity, stereotype of leadership. Because the only thing I'm going to say to you, now this is the only thing I am going to say to you, we'll just see you on the football field in August, and then we'll see you again in the Celebration Bowl in Atlanta. That's what we'll tell them, Coach. We'll see you twice. How about that? How about that, Coach? We'll see you twice.
Speaking of Jesus' name, we ain't scared. We ain't scared.
Hey, Coach,
I love it.
Coach, you seem like a sensational guy, Coach. And as a former football player and a football fan, you seem like somebody that I would love to play for. Your enthusiasm is infectious, and I can't wait to see those Bulldogs take the field on August 31st, Coach.
Thank you so much, man. God bless each and every one of you guys, man. This has been awesome. Man, y'all told me 20 minutes. Man, we've been on this thing for an hour. What? Hey, listen, guys, I've enjoyed every single minute of it. All right, because again, man, it's about the platforms that we're on. We get an opportunity in these platforms, man, to be able to uplift, and it's not just about South Carolina State. It's not about all this other stuff. It's about the whole culture. All right, HBCU, man, it's a culture, man. You got to think about it, man. My whole adult life, since I've been 18 years old, I've been on the HBCU campus as a player and a coach.
Wow.
Look, you know how coach talk about I am swag. You know, I'm a man in Alabama State. My boy Eddie Robinson, my dog. I am swag. Well, guess what? I am HBCU. All right. When you talk about HBCU, there's no other representation than Chennis Berry for HBCU. I done seen it all, from the high to the low, and I love every bit of it. People ask me, hey man, do you want to coach in the SEC, the Big Ten, and all that type of stuff? Man, I just want to be the best I can. Because guess what? I have enough skill set between the ears. I can coach anywhere in America. But the good Lord has planted me at these HBCUs for a reason. All right, to give back to the people that look just like me. All right, and love them and care for them and mold them. And I promise you, you touch this program and you touch the tutelage of Coach Berry and my staff, you'll be a better father, a better man, a better husband, and a better person because of the time that you spend under our tutelage.
Right. Well, Coach, man, we definitely gonna let you get started, get you somewhere down the road. Hopefully, like Coach Campbell say, we'll see you at the Celebration Bowl. And man, it's been a pleasure, and it's even more than what I thought it was. You know, of course, talking to you, Coach, man, and I wish you well, and we look forward to keeping up with you as well. And hey, Coach, you might see me on the sideline, man. You know, there's some great things happening for me, and you know, I got to meet with this senior executive of HBCU TV Gold, and I want to thank these two gentlemen for opening them doors for me as well.
Awesome, man. Well, good luck, man. We wishing you well. We be praying for you, brother. Whatever the good Lord has for you, guess what? It's going to happen regardless of man or not. It's going to happen. I'll be pulling for you, man. You always going to be my friend and my friend for life, brother. So anytime you need something from me, just reach out, man, and I'll do the best I can to be able to be there for you, brother.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you.
Hey,
thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Let's get it.
All right, fellas. All right.
Hey, hold up. Before we continue any further, this is what I need y'all to do if y'all watching on Scotty's channel, right? If you want to see the show tomorrow, if you want to see A-Rob tomorrow, I need you to do something. You need to go in the description, go to Rocky, hit the link to our YouTube page, and subscribe. That's the only way you're gonna be able to watch it tomorrow. You're not getting this free game anymore, right? You're gonna have to go. So let's give you about. I'm gonna give you about, Coach. We're gonna give them about 2 minutes before we continue the show, so they can go ahead and go in the description, click the link to our YouTube page, and then go ahead and subscribe. You can go back to Scotty's and watch it if you'd rather watch it on his. That's fine. But make sure you go to our channel and subscribe, because if you don't, you're gonna miss a great interview tomorrow with E-Rob. So
we definitely need them to subscribe. We definitely need them to follow us, because guys, we're not sitting here talking off, you know, the seat of our pants or off the top of our head. We bringing you guys real coaches talking about real times and real programs, so you can get an understanding of what really happens in a coaching or an HBCU, not necessarily in a program, in a football program. So we're not guessing here. We're bringing facts.
Absolutely, Coach. Absolutely. Coach, and you know, the one thing, like I said, what we always try to tell people about this show, you're going to get coaches and you're going to get coach talk. You're going to get coach speak. You're going to get things that are broken down. You're going to get behind the scenes. And this is what's so great about, you know, HBCU Coach Talk with Coach Johnny Cole. I mean, this is just amazing. Coach's Corner with Johnny Cole. So, guys, you don't get this anywhere else now. I'm just trying to tell you, you don't get this anywhere else. You know, so like I say, please follow, subscribe. And like I said, we're gonna see a lot of big name coaches that's gonna come on to the show all through the season.
Yeah, ain't no doubt. And man, I tell you what, my heart is just full of grace and thank you from the man upstairs of just being able to have this platform, because we need to do more, you know. And we're not ESPN and we're not ABC, but we us, and we got to start from somewhere, and to move forward to get this information out to our people, you know, to make sure they understand the game of football, the game program, college level. So I'm just excited and tickled to death that things are moving our direction, and they're moving in a fast pace. And we want to bring this to you. So subscribe.
Hey, Coach, can we talk about our first stop on our tour this season? Is it our first stop? If it's okay with Coach, going to let you know that we're going to be at the SWAC MEAC Challenge in Atlanta on August the 24th. And we can't wait, Coach. I'm so excited to be there and watch the game, watch Mr. Campbell's Rattlers take on Norfolk State, to get to see the new Rattlers, in action. And I just can't wait, Coach, to see, it's football season, Coach, and I just can't wait, man. I just want to.
We're going to bring it to you guys live. We'll start off on the football field. You'll actually get to see warm-ups, and we'll try, and we're working on now if we could get the coaches on the show for a minute to say a little something about the game before the game. I don't think we can show the game, but we will get all the pageantry around the game so you can get a chance to be there if you're not there in person.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a sensational kickoff to the season. This is one of the anticipation for this season is palpable. When you talk about the number of people that, we've been talking about this season ever since March. You know what I mean? Like, people have been engaged in discussing the season. And so with the change in coaches, with with everything that's going on in the SWAC and the MEAC, I just can't wait to get out there in Atlanta and watch them kick it off and let them, so they can get on the field and do their thing. And I'm like I say, I'm really interested in seeing what the defending Black College Football National Championship has to offer.
Well, the thing about it was, inside, of course, I will be at the game with you all, and we're going to be doing it big in Atlanta. But I'm actually going to go to Tallahassee and see South Carolina play FAMU, because I want to see that game. I'm really excited about that game. I think that's going to be a statement game for us and for them. So those are games that, Coach, we talked about the important games in the season, really set where your goals are. So for FAMU, we want to keep that winning streak going. Hey, Coach Barrett's coming in with a lot of energy. They are not going to be intimidated. Just by his energy, you can tell that they're going to be ready to play. So I'm excited to see that game, and that being our second game of the season. So, a lot of great HBCU football. And what I'm really excited about is the energy overall, like Rocky talked about. Again, we had that kind of downward spiral in the 2010s and all the way to 2000. And like I said, I'll give it to Coach Prime. He brought that energy back. Now the energy's back. Everybody's excited. Everywhere I go, people are talking about their team. People that talk about their team don't even know their team. They're still talking about their team. So I'm really excited about all the people that interact with me on social media, talking about what their team is going to do. And the great thing about it this time, everybody wants to say their team is going to play the Celebration Bowl, and that's what you want. You want to have that excitement and hope coming in this part of the season.
Absolutely. You got Alabama State thinking, and when you talk about the SWAC, they have serious aspirations of becoming the champion. You're talking about Florida A&M coming off a national championship. They certainly have aspirations of being a champion. And then you have Jackson State, the boogeyman of the SWAC. When you really want to talk about it, once Prime came into the SWAC, they became the boogeyman. They was a team that everybody feared. No one wanted to play Jackson State. And then now that Prime has went on, we're looking at, is Jackson State going to just go back to what it was prior to Prime, or are they going to continue the tradition, or are they going to make another run at a championship without Prime?
Yeah, the thing that I get excited about, coaches like Chennis Barrett. I get excited about Coach Sid Thomas down at Alcorn State. When you bring in that energy, that energy that just that the conference needs. I get excited about Mickey Joseph at Grambling. I get excited about Coach Graves at Southern, who has been around the league, been a part of championships, came up underneath great coaches that to see the energy, and not necessarily the energy. I want to see good coaching. When I'm watching the game, I'm evaluating the game. I'm not a cheerleader or nothing. I like to see good strategy, putting things together. And I think that we got a coaching staff in the MEAC and in the SWAC that's going to do a great job, and I look real forward to that.
This person has Adrian Crook says it was only 2 seasons. I agree. It was only 2 seasons. However, it was one of the most dominant runs in SWAC history, so I'm told.
Which means 2 seasons at Benedict?
No, at Prime. No.
Prime.
At Jackson State. State. Prime. So that's what I'm told. So you guys are SWAC historians. You guys know can compare the Prime era, but to me it was I've only been following the SWAC for 5 seasons. So by far it was the most impactful 2 years of any coach since I've been watching. But it also immediately transformed Jackson State's program. And I think that's what the people in Jackson, Mississippi are trying to restore. They want that prime level success, and they won't stop until they get it.
Well, you want to go, Coach Campbell, you go.
Well, Adrian Cook, that's one of my Southern nephews, so you got to take what he says with a grain of salt. But Adrian, what I will say is Prime did do something that Southern still has not done, is gone to the Celebration Bowl. so that I do know. So they can always hold that over y'all head down there in Southern. And FAMU actually won it. So y'all still looking to get to Atlanta. So we won't even talk about that. But with that being said, and the thing about it is everybody starts and they believe they can win. That's what I like. Everybody is hopeful. Like Coach said, we've got these new, energetic young coaches, these Gen X coaches. They're ready to come in. They're ready to grab the baton, take the SWAC, take the MEAC to the next level, bringing these players, which I'm really excited about. I'm not worrying about NIL and this, that. The players that want NIL, they're not coming to FAMU. Players that want to come to FAMU, South Carolina State, they're going to come. And those are good players. Those are solid players. Those are players that can get to the NFL. And that's going to raise the level of play. And that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah. And let me say this, don't downplay Jackson State's football program. In the 80s, Coach, and in the 90s, I mean, they won. I mean, Coach Cumley went to 4 SWAC championships, before Dion. It kind of fell off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? W.C. Gordon won a whole bunch of championships. So Jackson State program ain't no Rudy Poo. It's just like Alabama, no different than Notre Dame, no different than USC. You got to win, baby. You got to win. And he came in there and won. So, you can't take that away from the things he done. And not only did he win, he told him he was going to win. He did to Muhammad Ali. I'm going to knock you out in 8. And I'm going to put you on skate. And if you put up a fight, I'll let you stay in 10. You know what I'm saying? That was the excitement about it. The SWAC has always been like that. It's just that we didn't have the media. Man, I wish you guys, man. I went on the SWAC tour. The SWAC tour was when we traveled from school to school, just 2 top players from each school. And man, you talking about Eddie Robinson, Marino Cassidy, W.C. Gordon, Lionel Taylor, Otis Washington, all on one bus. Man, and we would go each place and we have media day or luncheon, and they could get up and talk about their team. And guys, man, you talking about the pageantry, they would talk about each other. They would come up with stories. Man, it was crazy. I wish back then they had the same media, but they didn't. So prime time could have fitted in right with them. And guys, y'all too now, I get upset when these coaches in the SWAC and the MEAC don't be answering me back to get on this show. You got to sell your program, man. You got to, if you guys watching, you got to sell your program. Coach Berry would have fit right in, man. He would have fit right in there. So the conference has always been great. It's always been pageantry about what goes on around the football program. And I'm as excited this year that I can be.
Like one thing I just want to say, I like how you try to, put us on the spot and show Coach Berry where we had picked him. I like that. But see, like I say, we don't see on this show, we don't run for the spot. We stand on our picks. See, that's the thing about it. But we all, like I said, that's another thing too. We're always gonna be respectful, but we gonna stand on our picks, and that's to anybody that calls in. We're gonna stand on what we say, because the one thing about this show, we're gonna do our research. We're gonna know what we're talking about, and just again, like Aaron Moore is talking about. Aaron Moore, I was talking about the Celebration Bowl. Now you can go back to the Heritage Bowl. Y'all did go back to that, but if I think even when y'all went to the Heritage Bowl, I think Jackson State still won the conference and went to the playoffs. So I think if I'm correct on that, but Southern has not been to the Celebration Bowl, and that's what I'm talking about. Because as Coach Cole's talking about, we're talking about different eras. I'm talking about in the Celebration Bowl era. That's a new era. So that's what I'm talking about and everything. But
I was on that team at the first Heritage Bowl. I coached on Southern's team at the coach. Then we won. We beat South Carolina State.
And I think y'all beat us one year too, didn't you, Coach?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Coach, we spanked everybody. Coach, we went 11-1. The only team beat us was Nicholls State, and Coach, they were 1-10. The only game they won was against us, but we had laid down because we already had won the SWAC. We had beat Steve McNair them the week before, and man, we laid an egg the next week. I think the kids were still drunk.
Hey, let me ask y'all this. This is HBCU Coaches Corner. Can we talk about coaches a little bit before we get off tonight? Because I want to ask this question. How much do you think Southern regrets letting Odom Dawson walk away?
Well,
Dawson Odoms, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
walk away.
You at least got to say because, let me tell you something even more crazy. They shouldn't have never let Pete Richardson go. Pete Richardson had one losing season in 17 years, Coach. He should have walked away on his own accord. 17 years, you got one losing season. You know what I'm saying? Eddie Robinson, one of the greatest coaches that ever coached before, never beat Pete Richardson. And I like to take credit. I did beat Pete Richardson one time. He should have been able to walk away from the job by himself. When administration get involved with athletics, that's when things explode. Eddie Robinson said on that one trip, and I can remember this like this morning, he said, what's going to hurt SWAC football is when people start getting involved that don't know the game. And guys, we both know there's some people that's in some key positions that ain't never picked up a football, they ain't never coached it, and they ain't never coached nothing really. And when that happens, it messes the game up, Coach. It messes the game up. So I think deeply they were going 7-4, 8-3, 9-2, all while Coach Odom was there. But they did never want to give him a multi-year contract nor give him a raise. They kept on 1 year. So he had to take him and his family a place where he had some security.
Well, and this is a great point Paris brings up. She thinks they miss Dawson Odoms a lot because they haven't beat GSU since they let him go. Yeah. Now, Dawson Odom haven't won a whole lot at Norfolk State either. I guess they both may want to redo. But when you talk about that and you say it was security for that Dawson Odoms want that led him to walk away, but at the same token, they paid Eric Dooley a king's ransom to come. So that's what kind of puzzles me is that if it was about money, you had a successful coach, wouldn't you just, appreciate or his salary somewhat to keep him on? But then when you let Dawson Odoms go, you immediately go out and pay Dooley. You immediately pay Dooley a king's ransom. Make him the highest paid coach in the conference.
See, this is where the AD steps in and protects his coach, number one. And this black college, guys, y'all know I know black college. You know where we go wrong in black college? Is when the board gets involved with the hiring process. Well, I don't like him. He didn't speak to me, or we ought to go for somewhere else. When the board start getting involved and start putting pressure on the president, that's when things go off rail. And when you at universities like that, where the board start using the campus as their playground, that's when you don't have success consistently. So when you look at programs like Florida A&M, Jackson State, Grambling, where sometimes the board stay away, but when they get involved and start making these decisions, that's when those programs go down. And Coach Campbell, we can talk about that. When you and y'all, y'all had a great coach in, who I want to say, Joe.
Yeah.
Billy Joe. Y'all had a great coach. And they was like, oh, well, let's go Division I. Billy Joe didn't want to go Division I. He said, we ain't ready for Division I. They put y'all in Division I, playing the big schools, got the hell beat out you.
Yeah, and set the program back for 10 years.
Exactly.
Set the program back for 10 years. And the one thing, yeah, and I won't say something, our situation is different. First of all, and it's not about who we wanted, it was about the continuity of the program. And everybody inside understood that there was a reason why Coach Simmons made Coach Cozy the interim head coach. Coach Simmons said this was the guy that basically, in so many ways, should lead the program. The players said in so many ways. So ours is totally different. But I'm going to defend Coach Dooley on why he was selected, because again, I know a lot of people think they know what I'm saying, but let's be clear about something. When Coach Dooley was that offensive coordinator at Grambling, they had the number one offense in the SWAC. Okay, now Devontae Kincaid had a lot to do with it, but it's still, that's the way it goes hand in hand, Coach. You know that player and coach goes hand in hand. He went to Prairie View, he won. So Southern said, "Hey, listen, we got an offense. He knows how to recruit Louisiana. Again, this is the thing that they're saying. He won the West. Let's bring him here to Southern. Let's bring him home. Let's bring him here." So that's the reason why. So it wasn't like he was just out of left field compared to potentially what people were looking at FAMU. Let's get this guy because why are we going to get this guy? So the end, we talked about Sean Gibbs. That was a left field thing. Coach Dooley had a level of continuity and understanding why Southern people went for him. So I want to understand, because I think a lot of you guys don't forget that Grambling, they were rolling, and Coach Dooley was the offensive coordinator on those powerhouse teams.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, they won as well. They won as well. But I don't know though. Do you get rid of your winning coach, Odom, to bring in Dooley?
Well, this is what I think, Coach. I think, and you can speak more to this. I think two things happen. There's a ceiling that people think the team reaches, right? That they're winning, right? And then that pretty girl outside the window that you never know. I want to get her. And sometimes people see consistency, but don't see the level. And then this goes back to my thing about Dawson Odom. He couldn't get to the Celebration Bowl. Southern wanted to get to the Celebration Bowl. So what they're saying is we have the talent because we're getting to the championship game every year, playing Alcorn basically every year, but we can't get over this hump. Let's break. We get over the hump.
Well, Dooley didn't go to the Celebration Bowl in Prairie View, did he? Hello?
No,
Hello?
No, I don't know. I think
Campbell.
Mr. Campbell lost his sound for a second.
Yeah, hold on, I've lost my mic.
Oh, we hear you.
We hear you. It's just not your headset.
I don't think that Prairie View went to the Heritage Bowl under Dooley. He was just as winning, just as on the same level.
Did Dooley coach under Fobbs?
Yeah, yes, he did.
Yeah. No, so Fobbs went in 16. I want to say Fobbs went in 16. Right. So if Dooley was the head coach, then of course he went to the Celebration Bowl.
No, Dooley was the offensive coordinator under Fobbs.
Oh yeah.
No, he didn't take Prairie View to the Heritage.
No.
Yeah.
But
so what we was talking about. The question was, why or does Southern regret getting rid of Odom? You know, and where they are now, yeah. Nothing against Dooley, not at all. Because it was a good hire, coach. You know, hard Dooley at Southern after Odom was a good hire. It just didn't work out at the end. But I don't think Coach Odom, I think they should at least gave him a 3-year deal extension or a 2-year deal extension, you know, with an option for the 3rd year or something to say, we're proud of you of being our coach.
Coach, this happens at the Division I level as well, right? In that a guy who's a good cultural fit gets maybe overpaid or overpromoted, or the expectations are way too high because he either comes from that program or he has a cultural connection. And I think that's what Dooley had. He had a cultural connection while coaching under Pete Richardson, right? And then the people got excited because he was their kind of guy. He was a Louisiana guy. And I don't think Odom's had that same support. But I was just surprised how fast it soured under Dooley. It soured really quickly. And he didn't get the runway that I thought someone who had the cachet when he came into the job. It didn't last very long at all. I mean, it was a short honeymoon, to say the least.
And the friends thing about it, they didn't have a losing record. They had a winning record. 65. They went to the SWAC championship, and then they had a winning record last year.
Hey, it was just the one. They lost to Texas Southern 3 years straight.
Yeah.
And Texas Southern was awful. You know
I think I think, you know, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Dooley lose all of it? Well, no, he didn't lose all of his rivalry games. He lost the ones to Jackson State, and he lost to TSU 3 times.
He lost to.
He didn't lose to Grambling.
No, he didn't lose to Grambling.
He didn't lose to Grambling.
Right. Yeah, because he had.
He should have lost to Grambling. But
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So no, man. I just think that I know this for a fact that what happens sometimes to these coaches is when the board members start getting involved with choosing the coach, and that's why you got to have a strong president and more so a strong athletic director to stand by his coaches and go by the numbers. The numbers speak for themselves. You know what I mean? You know, and he was winning. He was going 74-83 every year. You know what I mean? He was winning some of the games. He, like you just said, he just didn't get to the big game. And now they so far from the big game now, hopefully with Terrence Graves on deck, that they can get there. And we all know that right now Terrence Graves is there, you know, with the question mark over his head because of how things rolled out there. So Terrence, you know, he got a big job. You know, him and the staff, they got a big job because people are going to be looking and watching.
I know one thing, guys, and this goes back to our guest that we had earlier. I will be really surprised if Coach Berry doesn't work at South Carolina State. You know, after interviewing him for an hour, listening to his energy, listening also to him how well he understands the construction of his team, how detailed he was in understanding what his coaches brought to the table. I'd be very surprised if it doesn't work at South Carolina State.
But Rocky, let me say something. Coach, I'm gonna give it to you because I know you're gonna bring. But I want to bring because you said. But Coach says I think people have to understand something. South Carolina State, when you look at the teams in the MEAC, they're the one true team that has a natural football recruiting base. Maryland doesn't have a natural recruiting base. Virginia, because Norfolk State doesn't have the tradition, so they're not going to get the kids in the Tidewater area. Hampton, they'll go to Hampton before they'll go to Norfolk State. So the talent alone in the state of South Carolina, South Carolina is one of those states like Mississippi. They produce a lot of football talent, even though they don't have a lot of people in the state. So that's the thing about it.
And got tradition.
and got tradition.
Tradition through South Carolina, the state of South Carolina.
Right. So when you, like he said, he's got high school coaches that are up and down that state that went to that played at South Carolina State. So they'll have a kid that might be iffy fit there, and like I say, go to one of those directional schools that I hate, Northwest somewhere, when they should go to a SWAC school or HBCU. They're gonna say, hey man, don't go to Northwest something state, go to South Carolina State, and that's gonna bode well for him.
Let's talk about. And you guys, I don't like to talk down on them coaches, but hey, man, this is some part that we do. Let's talk about coaches on the hot seat. What you think about in the SWAC and in the MEAC and some HBCU 1AA? Let's talk about, for instance, let's say Tennessee State. Coach George is on his last year of his contract. He finished second to last this last year. He have beat some teams, but most teams he lost. He's got a cupcake schedule. Let's get that straight. And I don't know if he's on his last year, but I mean, he's on his last year, but I really think he should be on the hot seat if he's not on the hot seat. Your thoughts?
Coach, I totally co-sign that. I really thought that what Eddie George was going to do, I thought he was going to open up an Ohio State pipeline. But they were going to say, hey, we got guys that kind of work up here. You know what I mean? They're going to go down to Tennessee State. I really thought that was going to happen. Kind of what you see where you got kids from Mississippi State and Ole Miss going to Jackson State. You got kids from Florida, Miami, and Florida State going to FAMU. You know what I mean? Kind of, and even what you see with South Carolina State. And I was really shocked that pipeline, kind of the Midwest pipeline, didn't open. But to me, the guy that's on the hot seat for me, it's Coach Maynard, Alabama A&M. I think out of everybody, that seat is, he can't even sit down. Matter of fact, he just stands up in his office.
Well, can I tell you that my resources is telling me that would have been done last year, but the president is in his hand. So when you got the president, when he's in the president's hand, but there's some fiction between the athletic director and him. The crazy part about it, do y'all know his offensive coordinator coached in the XFL his first year?
Yeah.
So he left the staff to go coach it in the XFL.
He got fired during the season, though.
And he got fired in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
At the XFL.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that's kind of tough. And I think you're right. And that's the word I'm hearing, that this might be Coach Maynard's last year there.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I'll say this again, and this is one of those games. He better not lose better than that Magic City Classic. Because, like I say, he won't go back to Huntsville. I mean, Huntsville, right? Yeah, that's where Alabama is. Yeah. He won't go back. If he loses that game bad, well, they run up and down that field, that's going to be a wrap. I don't see AD, Robinson, Bryant going for that.
Let me say this. Like Coach Wilson up at Morgan State. I mean, you got to hire the right coach. You know what I mean? You can't hire, what it sounds like. Coach Wilson, Damian Wilson, you can see what he did at Bowie State. You could see what he did built. You know what I mean? How he ran the program like a Division 1A program on the Division O. That's a guy that know how to raise and get these jobs. And that's what these ADs sometimes, these presidents don't understand when you're choosing a coach, especially when you talk about a perennial losing program like a Morgan State. You got to get a guy that's hungry, that's in there, not no name guy. Not no guy, well, he's from here and he fits. Man, you're going to lose every time, So what other coaches you guys think that, but we so new in the SWAC, what, we got new coaches Southern.
Well, that was there. Yeah, coaches, so many new ones.
One at Arkansas Pine Bluff, new coach at Alcorn, 2-year coach at Jackson State, 3-year coach at Alabama State, and a 2-year coach at Mississippi Valley. And the only one that's been there the longest is Maynard. And a 3-year, I said Alabama State. And it's Maynard, Coach Maynard. He's been there the longest. Oh,
Yeah,
and the conference loans.
Yeah, I think all the other coaches, I mean, you can outside maybe Coach Hampton of UAPB, but I think because again, just to your point, we just got a bunch of new coaches. So nobody's good. So they're going to get their runway. The coaches that are still there, Coach Woody at Bethune-Cookman, he's building something. You can see where they're going. Coach E. Rob of Alabama
He's 2
State.
years too.
Yep, he's 2 years. Yep, he's on his second year. Coach T.C. Taylor, he's been recruiting. Jack State is in good shape. So those coaches, again, I think everybody is where they need to be at. So we'll see. But I think, again, because the turnover was last year, I think, again, we just got the one guy that I think we're really looking at. Now, on the outside, again, everybody from North Carolina A&T said he can't go anywhere because of his record. But Coach Vincent Brown, Undertaker Brown, at North Carolina A&T. Now, you're talking about a powerhouse school, a lot of money, and they're in that CAA, and if they go 0 and something this year, that's going to be rough.
Coach, I bring this picture up right here, and I don't know if you guys can see it well, but I was talking to you guys when we were doing a pre-production meeting that this is a 2001 coaches photo. There's one guy still in the swag on this photo.
All these guys gone.
This is 2001, and I'm trying to.
You mean 2021? You mean?
Yes,
2021. 2021.
2021. And I'm saying that to say, like, one of these guys is still here. What does that say? As SWAC historians, what does that say?
Well, let's break it down. Coach Prime got a new job, right? So he didn't get fired. Coach Simmons got a new job. He didn't get fired. I guess everybody else on that would have been fired then, right? I guess that's it.
Well, in this picture, Dooley he didn't get fired from this particular job.
Wait a minute, Coach Robinson's not on this picture? Eddie Robinson?
No.
So he came the following year.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Alcorn State, Coach McNair, I don't know what do you call that? What happened to him?
Well, here's the funny thing about it. He should be a head coach because he had a job at Texas Southern.
Yeah. But he's gone, Coach. He out.
Yeah.
Hey, and he was done in by a SWAC school, so.
And like Edwin Moore said, so wait a minute, this 2000 is 20. Well, yeah, but O's was gone before this though, right?
Yeah.
Because he left after COVID. So yeah, he left. He didn't get fired. So.
Yeah, and my point in pointing that out is for some reason I can't figure out how to zoom in, but my point is saying that is that with all of that turnover in the SWAC, particularly, does it put the conference somewhat behind the 8 ball when you talk about going to the Celebration Bowl and winning the national championship? Does it take the conference out of contention when you look at there is, I guess, some stability in the MEAC when you're talking about Trey and the guy at Howard and they've had their coach turnover too, because when you talk about Delaware State and Morgan State, they've all had new coaches, and now the South Carolina State has had some turnover as well. So there's a lot of turnover in just HBCU major college football, I guess.
Well, when you look at the MEAC, Delaware State is a perennial losing program. So they turn over coaches. Morgan State was before they got the right guy in there. All right. Florida A&M, of course, they was there, then they out. Bethune-Cookman bounced up a couple times. So when you look at them, they kind of keep coaches around a lot longer, excluding Morgan State and Delaware State. Is that safe to say, Campbell?
Yeah. I totally agree with that.
The SWAC in the last 20 years, it's like a revolving door. So Coach Campbell, you're on the outside, you're a businessman as well. What does that say to you?
Well, Coach, you made me. What's so funny when you talked about the coaches, but you know what? Also, what this shows, and this goes back to the evolution or transition of the athletic director. And when I mean athletic, that understood athletic because they came from athletics, to the business AD. Now what we have is business ADs. And when you're a business AD, you don't know coaches. You have not established relationships. So back when we were coming through, our ADs actually coached. Our ADs actually were the basketball coach, the football coach, the baseball coach, etc. So they knew the different coaches. They said, you know, if this guy leaves, I've either got a guy on my staff because he either worked for me or I knew who he worked for, or I could go get this other coach because I know this coach too. But when you got ADs, and I won't say names, just out of respect, but if you got an AD who literally does not know who the other football coaches in the conference are, right?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. How can you actually go out and hire a coach when you don't know the coaches?
I'm gonna let you on in a sec.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Turn your background sound down.
Right. You know, one thing that Chennis Berry said, since we're talking about coaches, you know, I left TSU in 2010, right? We don't hire Kevin Ramsey, Daryl Ashbury, Mike Haywood, and now we hired McKinney. And then now we got Chris Dishman. That's 5 coaches. What did Chennis Berry talk about his predecessor? He said, I'm in his office every day. Why? I want to know what made you successful. I learned this from my brother. We went to Tennessee State. We talked to Joe Gilliam back then, Joe Gilliam Sr. And Rocky, this is before you got involved. But Joe Gilliam was with John Merritt. And of course, you know, Jefferson Street Joe played in the quarterback. It was his father. When we went to Alabama State, we went and got Coach Markham, who had been there for years and won a national title. Come talk to our team. What made you successful? So when I took over at Lane College, I went and talked with Darren Hayes. He didn't win, but I needed to build off of what he was building. You know what I'm saying? When I went to Texas Southern, I already knew Steve Wilson. He was 4-40. Steve, what happened? What's going on? And the other thing is because I was a student there. I was a player there. I was assistant coach. So I knew where the restroom at and everything. Now,
hey, Coach, we have a call. Oh, go ahead, Coach.
Now, one coach that have taken over that Texas Southern program have called me and said, Coach, how was you successful? That's when I know that they not for real about turning a program on and winning. Go ahead, Coach, what you call it?
No. Hey, caller, you're live on the air. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, this is your boy, Coach Green, man. How y'all doing, man? Great show.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Coach Green, for calling in. What comment or question do you have, Coach?
I got a question for y'all. All right, this is a question for all y'all. If Alabama A&M, say, you know, hypothetically, say they beat Jackson State, FAMU, win about 8-9 games, but lose to Alabama State, do he still keep his job?
Absolutely, in my opinion.
Yeah, you say he wins 9 games. Because if let me tell you something, what you just said, literally,
he can win the conference.
He can win the conference. In your scenario. Yeah, so I mean,
no, this is what I'm saying. Go ahead.
Well, Coach, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. This is not gonna be a fairy tale. That he beats FAMU and Jack State and then lose to everybody else. That's not gonna happen. So either they're gonna have a good season or they're gonna have a bad season. Yeah, because he's dead there.
What I'm saying is he wins them 2 big games, but lose to Alabama State because the Magic City Classic pretty much be the game like decide who between them 2 who go to the SWAC championship.
Right.
And they lose that particular game.
Yeah, but if he wins 8 games, Coach, to your point, you said 8 or 9 games, including those games with inside the 8 or 9. That is a successful season. As a matter of fact, that's one of the most successful seasons at Alabama A&M. We're not talking about Grambling, Southern, or Jack State, or FAMU now. They don't have a bunch of winning seasons like that at Alabama A&M. So if he won 8 games and beat Jackson State and FAMU, that is a successful season.
Monumental.
Yeah. He's going to be barking a lot.
Well, let me say this though, guys, and I know what he's asking. If there's fire in the house, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing can put it out but water. You know what I'm saying? Got to win that Magic City Classic. Because what'll happen is, guys, and I've seen this happen before, you can have that great season, Campbell, and then lose that big game. You're going to have somebody saying he got to go. And hopefully that somebody saying he's got to go is not the people that's against him. Because if it's the people against him, Coach, he out of there. And it sounds crazy.
No, I see both your point and Coach Green's point. I'm just saying, if he beats Jackson State at FAMU, that is an 8 to 9 win. And you know what he's going to say? I got it turned around and everything. And again, this goes back to who do you hire that would, because if he's got it rolling like that, that means he's recruited well. I just don't say, I'm just saying, if he wins 8 to 9 games, I just don't see them firing him. I don't see it. I understand what you're saying, Coach, because a rivalry game does matter. Because then that, I guess to that point, that would be his 4th loss in a row to Alabama State, right? Right. Just real quick. Yeah. Right. So 4 losses in a row to Alabama State. Beat. But like I say, Coach, I think that the trigger for me is when you said he beat Jack State and FAMU. That's a monumental task. And then based off of what you're saying, win an 8 to 9 game, I just think that the balance on that, I think for me, the scale tilts more in his favor than against him.
So, Coach, this is what I'm saying, Coach Green. I don't mean to cut you guys off, but what I'm saying is you're saying that this guy wins on September 28th against FAMU on the road, and then goes to Jackson State on the road and win in Jackson State the next week. Coach, I think that's right. I think you can't, if he does that, Coach, you can't fire that guy.
Let me put something together for you guys. All right. I'm gonna do a reverse roll. All right. Now you know at Texas Southern now, my man was what, Coach?
Yeah.
8 and 30-something. It came down to the last game of the season, and he was up 31 points, something like that, right?
17. He was up 17.
He was going to save
in the fourth quarter.
He was going to save his job. So I'm flipping. He had some guys that wanted him, as opposed to Maynard. Right now, got some folks not really happy there. So he was about to keep his job and winning 9 games, something like that, or 12 games in 5 years.
Wow.
This just a flip. And when he lost to Pine Bluff, man, they couldn't save him, Coach.
Oh, you talking about when he beat the brakes off of Alcorn?
Exactly.
Yeah. And then next week he comes back and loses and they were trying to find a reason to keep him. Yeah, and they again.
So the people against Maynard is looking for that reason not to keep him. If that makes sense.
Now I just, I don't see that fairy tale coming to fruition. I believe the Maynard story will be told on the afternoon of October 5th. We'll know where Maynard's headed. You understand what I'm saying? He plays Alabama. He plays. Go ahead.
Hey, I get it. I get what you're saying. But hey, one thing about football, and especially any sport, everybody got their opinions what's going to happen throughout the season. We all got our opinion. But at the end of the day, when that ball touch that grass, that's going to be the judgment right there. And we saw some shocking things happen before. Hey, take the West, for instance, when Dewey was still coaching Southern and he got to the SWAC championship game. Nobody saw that coming.
No.
I think they did. I think that's why he was hired.
Remember now, Coach. Remember that year. You had TSU, Prairie View, Texas Southern. All of them was bidding for the championship. To the last week, And Texas Southern was up 17 against A&M and lost. Prairie was playing a dismal Mississippi Valley State and lost. And that's how Southern walked into the game.
Let's talk about Dooley, right? Dooley had the expectations of possibly winning the conference when the season started. He immediately lost to TSU 24-0. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
You do remember that, Coach Green, right?
Yeah.
He then goes and loses. Didn't he lose?
No. Dooley didn't lose to Texas. Dooley lost to Texas Southern the next year.
No. He lost 24-0, Coach. Sean McCray was the head coach. Was the quarterback. Dooley was the head coach.
Okay. The year before that, they got beat something like on the field for something.
At home. And I'm saying then he gets beat at home by Prairie View, the school that he left, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he still makes it to the championship game. Coach, yeah. What I'm saying, Coach, he should have never been there. He should have never been there with those two horrible losses on his schedule.
Like I said, you never know until the game starts, bro. When that football touch that grass and they say hike, you never know what's gonna happen. Because how many of y'all actually thought Prairie View was gonna lose the Valley? I know I didn't.
I thought they could because they did the year before when Dooley was the coach.
Coach, all they had to do was win, and they would go walk to the championship.
Coach, but the year before, Dooley lost with a much better team at home.
And think about this. Dude, they almost made it again this past year.
Who almost made it?
They went down to the wire this past year. Southern. Damn me.
Yeah, but Coach, what that says is how mediocre. No, but see, hold on. See, let's
mediocre
see.
Team.
That's just talking about how mediocre the West was. But let's be clear, man. I'm 54 years old. You around the same age as me. There's very few times that some team comes out of nowhere as the SWAC champions. 9 out of 10 times, and I'm saying this out of 50 years of watching the SWAC, 9 out of 10 times you can say these are the two teams that's going to play for the SWAC championship and be the SWAC championship. There is no time in my history that team was something and came out of nowhere and won. It was either Southern, Jack State, Grambling, and you knew it, or Alabama State where Eddie Robinson had them bomb squad with Coach Mark, and you knew they had them bomb squads. You see what I'm saying? So don't play that game like this is not basketball. You know what I'm saying? This is not basketball. Football is usually pretty consistent. Pretty consistent because of the way the sport and the game is played. So no, there to me it's not some shock. Yeah, that's because the West is all mediocre. So yeah, if you put your hand in the bag and say pull somebody out of the 3 teams, but I tell you what, we know for a fact that we know UAPB is not going to win the West. You agree with that, right?
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah, so it's only going to be. Right, exactly. So it's only, and it's cycling through. We already know who the players of the game are. So Southern, Alcorn, Grambling,
and Prairie View.
Yeah. And that's where it's always been. And it usually has been more often than not. Because before Alcorn got over there, it's been Southern or Grambling.
So let me ask y'all this, man. Do y'all think the West is wide open? Even though
absolutely. Yeah, I do.
To win it.
I didn't pick Alcorn. So I think it's wide open. I think it's totally wide open. So again, if you guys got it together down in Southern, because again the West, because see the thing about what happens with the West compared to the East. See in the East, one game can lose the whole division. You guys beat up on each other. You guys lose 2 or 3 games between each other. So you can lose one game and then another guy losing, and then you got 2 losses. That doesn't happen in East.
I think that year when those teams lost 3 games, I think that was the first time in my I think I'm going on 40-some years, 50-some years. Yeah. Dealing with the SWAC that you lost 3 games and you went to the championship.
Coach, I'll say even this, Coach. These teams who end up in the SWAC championship, they also could have 3 losses because of who the top teams have to play. The top teams have to play Florida A&M.
It counts. The games that counts. We got to go in and chop up the schedule to see what games that the West play the East and they count.
Yeah,
And that's usually the East beat the West.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Coach Green. Hey,
So how wide?
Go ahead, Coach.
Go ahead.
No, Coach.
I was about to say, how wide open you think the East is? How wide open do y'all think the East is?
It's three teams, Coach. It's three teams. It's FAMU, Jack State, and Alabama State. Those are the three teams.
You think so?
Well, those are three teams.
Look, I'm taking one out your bag, Steve. Bethune-Cookman, man.
They're a sleeper.
Well, they're sleeper.
I was just about to say.
They're sleepers.
They're sleeper. And look, and you can't count we just can't just completely count out Alabama A&M. We just can't.
No, Coach, I can. I can. This guy can. This guy can and will.
Let's do this, Coach. How many teams can Alabama A&M beat over in the East?
None of the four above them.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah, because none of the four, they're not beating any of the four that's above them.
Let's see how many teams can they beat in the West. They can beat every team in the West.
I don't believe that.
I feel like they can beat.
The problem is they only have two teams in the West. They only play two teams from the West.
And what's those two?
Their schedule. They play Mississippi Valley and they play Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Valley's on their side.
They play Southern and Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Okay, they go beat.
Now.
See how he changes tune when you say Southern.
I got to ask y'all this. Hold up.
They also play Grambling. They also play Grambling. So I guess there's 3 cross matches this year.
Is Grambling a counter though?
How many teams in the East actually just beat Alabama A&M last year? How many teams in the East actually just beat them?
Okay.
And again, they come down to the wire.
FAMU just beat them. That game wasn't close.
And who else?
So I'm looking at the schedule. So Jackson State beat them 45-30. What are we gonna say that? Is that a beat down? Alabama State beat them 31-16. Is that a beat down?
Man, if you lose by 14 points, man, I mean, you lose by 14 points. That's 2 14-point losses right there.
And then Florida A&M beat them 42-28. They lost to every one of those teams by 14 points.
How did they fare against Bethune-Cookman?
They beat Bethune. Oh, they fared. They took an L, Coach.
Yeah.
Bethune-Cookman?
They took an L.
Yeah.
They got beat by 17, Coach.
From Bethune-Cookman?
Yes.
Yeah. Coach, listen. Bethune-Cookman had people on the run.
They struggled last year.
They struggled on offense.
Yeah, because they were new.
Yeah. They struggled on offense, but that defense was a whipstick.
What about
Ask Jackson State.
What about Valley? What they do against Valley?
They beat Valley 30-21.
Wow. So
let's think about this. Now they did pull out the whoop stick on Grambling, 45-24. But let's think about it. They have to play. I believe, in my honest opinion, I believe Jackson State and Alabama State will be better than they were last year. I believe that.
I don't know.
Coach Green,
Jackson State defense was suspect last year.
Are you a A&M fan?
No, he's a Southern guy.
Southern all the way. Jags.
Okay.
And Dooley we trust until he got fired.
Hey, Coach, let's talk about that.
I trust Greaves now.
So, how long of a runway does Graves have before you get off the line? How long of a runway does Graves have? Does he get a second year if he finishes 4th in the West?
Yes, he get it. he get a second year and he gonna do good this year. Y'all sleeping on him because only we only had one issue last year. Defense was top. We had the top rated defense last year. Offense was
That's not true. That's not true, Coach.
It was inconsistent offense. No, listen. It was inconsistent on offense, and we had a lot of penalties.
FAMU had the top rated defense in the SWAC.
And we was a top rated defense. It was Alabama. It was FAMU, Southern, and Alabama State.
Okay, Coach. He was basically what he said, right? They had one of the top ranked defense. That's what he's trying to say.
Oh, okay. Okay. My misunderstanding on my part. I thought he said we had the top rated defense.
That's what he said, but that's what Coach Green does, though.
No, I knew what I was saying. We had one of the top rated defenses in the SWAC.
But that's not what
I
you
ain't
said.
say we was number one. We was one of the.
Okay.
But I ain't say we was number one. I just say we had a top rated defense.
Oh, you said a
There's
top
a
rated
difference if I
defense.
say number one.
I thought you said the top rated
Yeah.
defense. My bad. I missed the A.
No, well,
Coach Green.
we was a top rated defense.
Coach Green.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling, man. Thank you for listening to
Y'all listening?
But
Hey guys. Hey, last thing before I let Coach take us out of here, man. I want everybody right now to go in the description, select our YouTube channel. If you're watching on Scotty's page, select our YouTube channel and subscribe. Because tomorrow you won't be able to watch if you're not subscribed. All right? We're broadcasting everything on my channel. So if you want to watch it, right? If you want to watch it, you need to go to our channel. And again, the link is in the description. But
And I dropped it in the chat.
Oh, and it's in the chat. You guys have no excuses at this point. And like I say, we're looking forward to interviewing what is the consensus pick for the number one coach for the team to win the SWAC by the press corps. So I'm looking forward to having Coach E. Rob and see what kind of pressure he feels they're under, since everybody's pretty much picking them as the.
That's not what the national press said. National press got FAMU ranked and got us number one. So see, that's what the SWAC said.
So so
Well,
the
hey, look,
HBCU press corner.
Go. The national press, they just guessing. Hell, they don't come to no game. They don't know one player. They just look, oh, Florida A&M, okay.
Well, clearly the SWAC is guessing too. If Earl Mulligan not on the preseason all SWAC team, they guessing too, and they got NA by offensive lineman. So they guessing also. So that ain't too much credibility there, Coach. Not too much credibility.
Boy, you crazy. We good,
All right,
Coach?
Hey, this has been a great show, guys, man. Chennis Berry lit it up, man. He gave us a jolt of electricity while he was on. If you missed this interview, please go back to the start of the interview and listen to him. He was electric for better than an hour. So, and you know, like I said, man, this was a great show again, guys. We got to do it again tomorrow. So, Coach, with no further ado, take us out of here, Coach.
Hey, guys, 2024 election, very, very, very important. You're talking about a possibility of hiring the first king in the United States of America. And we just don't do that here. We're a capitalistic country. And this guy's actually, or will try, to probably stay in there. We need everybody to go out and vote, whatever your, whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent. It's very, very important to go out and vote. We're talking about, women's rights on things, infrastructure of United States is on daycare, talking about Social Security. And some of you guys, like myself, is close to that time of being able to be old enough to even receive Social Security. Medicaid, Medicare, you're talking about, again, women's rights. So it's very, very important, man. Look in, do this work yourself. Study it yourself, look at it yourself, and make the right choice. If you don't vote, it's just like voting for the person that you really don't. So it's best to go ahead on and vote for the person that you want. It's very important. But as I always say, if you find yourself having a hard time and at the end of the rope, guys, just tie a knot, hold on tight, because ain't nobody bad like you.